immoral, and wrong.
This is the Modern Eater Show.
Piping hot and delicious.
The Modern Eater.
Food, 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 food. Oh!
Come and get it! And now your hosts, Greg Hollenbeck, Jay Parker, and Brian Freeman.
We can do this. Here it is, the Modern Eater Show, live from Studio Kitchen, Colorado tonight. We had quite the run out and about on the road.
Yeah, we haven't been in this kitchen in a long time, it feels
It's been a while, and people have been on vacation, but coming back around, we're heading into the home stretch of fall and then into winter, and that's when people really hunker down on their food and beverage. I'm Greg Hollenbeck along with Brian Freeman. Hello.
Good evening, good evening.
Jay Parker's here with us. Little Rich Schneider, he is back from Mexico, and I hope to see him tonight. Davery's off tonight as well. So here we are in the kitchen. We got a great show. But what I want to do first, Brian, before we talk about who's on the show tonight, is kind of explain to new listeners. So we have a new show that's before the Modern Eater Show. Ken Moon Around the House. He's a legend on KHAL. He's been on for many, many years. His audience, welcome into the Modern Eater Show. But how would you describe the Modern Eater Show, folks, to folks that have never heard it or maybe just in Denver for the first time and now getting to know this state?
I always refer to us as like a food and beverage entertainment company. Basically, what we do is we embrace all things hyper-local here in Colorado. We're really hyper-focused on all the booze, beverage, farms, restaurants, different purveyors, all kinds of things Colorado. We go deep. Some of us, we have energy company people because we're helping chefs. It's all about connections. And that's what I think we do over here.
I describe it as a oatmeal cookie that you take a bite out of. It turns in, it's like, that's a chocolate chip cookie. And then you figure out about 45 minutes, no, it's inedible. That's about how the Modern Eater Show goes. Truly, for folks that are just tuning in for the first time, the Modern Eater Show, we're all about hyperlocal community, small businesses, and agriculture. We love the state of Colorado, and there's so much to offer. And, Brian, you being the authority and a man that I say has forgotten more about produce than I'll ever know, you are one of those folks that's a champion of the farmers. We travel the state. You work with many of these farms, and just the ability to take these one-off farms that have great produce and do great things with what they're doing to bring it back to the folks here and distribute it through Growers Organic is really a great work that you do.
Oh, I feel privileged. I mean, that's something that I started with a couple Colorado farmers a long time ago. Thank you for all those accolades. It's I feel just lucky. I'll tell you, Colorado's been great to me. All the farmers, really it's just the salt of the earth people that I've been able to connect with since I've come here, and just have embraced it, because to me that was, it was all around organic and people taking care of, the land, and really regenerating the soil and doing everything that they could to bring more life to this planet. Really?
Well, relationship-based, truly, because that's what you do best, is build these relationships with farmers. And time again, we hear from the farmers that say, if it wasn't for Brian Freeman, I don't know how we'd still be in business. And that's a great thing that you do. Tonight's show is a big one. Tomorrow, the chili cook-off. Now, you've gone with us to Joy Wine and Spirits chili cook-off in their parking lot off 6th Avenue. That's a fun event year after year, but it gets a chance to highlight a bunch of restaurants and then also amateur chefs to come in and do chili recipes. Beyond that, it's kind of a neighborhood affair. People get together, have delicious chili recipes, and then, of course, it's in the parking lot of a liquor store. So there's going to be plenty of spirits and beer, and we just continue to do that over and over again each and every year. So Carolyn Joy Fortno will be with us, Joy Wine and Spirits, at 6:15.
She just walked in. I love it.
At 6:30, here it is, and this is the winner of last year's restaurant entry for the chili cook-off. And Rick Sharman from Uno Mas is here with us as well. And then in the next hour, this is some of our favorite stuff to talk about, but did you know how interesting ice can be?
Yes, I do, actually. I do. I love ice. And actually, I just had some Hawaiian shaved, which we'll see what we can talk to Isomatic about tonight. But we've got a new friend in the house.
Brittany Stanley will join us at 7 p.m. here on the Modern Eater Show. And from Isomatic, and then last but not least, Ron Johnson, a new friend of the show from Broken Arrow Distillery, will join us for Booze in the News all the booze news you can use. So if that's not a full lineup, I don't know what is. We're going to take care of business right now. Our sponsors, we have to talk about our sponsors before we go to break. When you hear the commercials here on the Modern Eater Show, this isn't the national spots that you're hearing from iHeart. You're going to hear from sponsors that are true to us, near and dear to our hearts, that small businesses that are very hyper-local, and through a vetting system, we've come to find a collaboration of sponsors that have the same ethos, that believe in the same things as us here at the Modern Eater. So when you hear these commercials, a lot of love and care goes into them, but their businesses really, if you need their services, I would say go local and buy local. We'll be back in a flash from Studio Kitchen, Colorado, right here on the Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio.
Choose your path through Cyberland.
You guys are clear. Sorry.
Check us out on Instagram and Facebook for all the fun photos and videos. Just search The Modern Eater or check out the website, themoderneater.com.
Hi, my name's Christina Stumble, and I own Farm Girl Flowers in San Francisco. With my Spark Cash Card from Capital One, I earn unlimited 2% cash back on all my business purchases. Last year, I redeemed $115,000 in cash back. Yeah, $115,000. And that doubled our digital marketing budget for the summer. Thanks to my Spark Card, we had our best summer yet. Imagine what the Spark Card from Capital One could do for your business. What's in your wallet?
Real Capital One customers pay for real stories. Credit approval required.
Hi there, Saver. Looking for a Medicare plan to help you save on more than just prescriptions? Medicare Advantage plans may offer prescription drug, medical, and hospital coverage. Walgreens is a preferred network pharmacy with many Medicare Advantage plans, including United Healthcare. So when you enroll in a plan with Walgreens as your preferred pharmacy, you know you're saving smartly. Walgreens, trusted since 1901. Other plans may be accepted.
Hi, I'm Charlie Gottenkenny, brewmaster at Brews Beers in Denver. Fall's finally here, and for me, that means it's time to cozy up to a Brews beer and get into some rich fall flavors. Belgian-style doubles, pumpkin spice brown ale, rich dark quadruples, and tasty triples are perfect for cooler weather. We make nothing but badass Belgian-style beers. Check out our social media reviews, then come in and see what everyone's talking about. We're at 67th and Pecos in North Denver, about 10 minutes north of downtown. With the holidays coming up, we'll soon be releasing some very special beers, including our famous Belgian-style champagne beer. Planning a holiday party or family get-together? Brews Beers has everything you need to make it a great event. Brews Beers, spelled B-R-U-Z, 1675 West 67th Avenue in Denver. Check us out at brewsbeers.com. We're dog-friendly with food trucks every day. So come on in and experience some Belgian-style badassery.
Hey Colorado, this is Brian Freeman, owner of Growers Organic and a host on the Modern Eater Talk Show. Growers Organic is a Colorado sourcing company who provides Colorado's greatest chefs with the best organic produce. I've been partnering with local and regional farms for the last 20 years, and our returning customers know they can count on us over and over again. Chefs who receive the highest rating on Good Food 100 choose Growers Organic for their organic produce needs because we're experts at bridging the gap between the farm and the table. Join us in the organic revolution and go organic with Growers Organic. Look us up online at growersorganic.com.
Wear black and eat spices. Hey, Modern Eater listeners, this is Zach from The Spice Guy, Colorado's favorite spice company. Spice is the variety of life. At The Spice Guy, we have a passion for sourcing the best ingredients from the best farmers all over the world. Choose from thousands of different GMO-free spices and ingredients, or let us create and blend custom flavor profiles for whatever style of food it is that you're working with. With over 1,000 restaurants, food brands, and chefs behind us, you can't go wrong when you choose The Spice Guy for all your spice needs. The Spice Guy.
Spicy.
Born in Breck, raised in Denver.
TheSpiceGuyCo.com.
Hey, this is Brother Luck from Colorado Springs.
30 seconds.
Owner of 4 by Brother Luck and Lucky Dumplings. I mean, he's a very impressive man. And you're the Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio.
Okay, cool. We're back at it from Studio Kitchen, Colorado right now. Greg Hollenbach and Brian Freeman. Continuing on, and as we're looking forward to tomorrow because it signifies kind of my start of fall, and it's every year. It's the chili cook-off from Joy Wine and Spirits. How are you, Carolyn?
I'm doing fabulous, thank you.
Carolyn Joy Fortno, and how many years running now has
so this is our 9th year, and it's so funny because I just had a vendor come yesterday, and he said, so how much margarita mix do I need? And I'm like, well, we're going to have like 900, 1,000 people. He's like, what? How many cups? How much tequila?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot of tequila.
So it's grown.
So 9 years, and, every single year it seems to get a little bit bigger, but I don't know how much bigger you'd even want it.
Yeah, we're kind of getting to our capacity right now. Although I have noticed a lot of poachers out there lately doing the chili cook-off thing. But I have to say we have the best. I mean, there's no way you can compete with our restaurants.
Well, I want to hear all those restaurants. Good evening.
Oh, my
and welcome.
goodness. Hello. Well, I'm going to have to really jog my memory. We have about 20 of them.
Well, let's set the stage. So for folks that don't know, number one, introduce yourself and what you do.
So I'm Carolyn Joy, and I own Joy Wine and Spirits down on 6th and Marion. And I've been doing that for about 25 years. It's been in my family as it was originally a pharmacy since 1963. So I started dusting shelves and running across the street to get my dad coffee and a newspaper when it was 15 cents.
Isn't that something else?
Yeah, it's really changed.
It was a little different when I was a kid. I ran down to the House of Pies on 8th in Colorado to give my mom Merit ultralights out of the
machine. Out of the vending machine.
Which were 75 cents or $1, something like that. And just to see the neighborhoods change, but what an institution. I think a landmark is Joy Wine and Spirits right there on 6th Avenue. What's the cross street?
It's on Marion.
It's on Marion?
Yeah, 13 blocks east of Broadway.
Yeah, I just know east of Broadway and west of University. That's
kind of smack dab in the middle.
Right
of
there in the middle. And so been there for a long time. What'd you say, 35 years?
No, 1963. So 56 years.
Holy cow!
Got to do my math.
I love the business end of that.
Okay, thank you.
You guys own the building? No?
No. Can you imagine paying rent
for
56 years? But we have worked with the same family. I've tried and tried. I have a first right of refusal, so don't get anxious, anybody out there.
Yeah.
It's mine.
Yeah, that's right. And I couldn't see you going anywhere anyway. We're streaming live on Facebook as well, and we're going to show some delicious chili. I think it's the chili from Uno Mas that won last year.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, and it was really interesting because it was a pretty straightforward chili. We've had some really interesting ones with different garnishes like sorbet or homemade tamales one year. And all sorts of creme fraiche and really
you've had big
things.
Chefs like Alex.
Yeah, Alex
Seidel's been there for years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's been and the boys from Barolo, I think, too, aren't they? Or no?
They're not here this year. They've passed a couple years, unfortunately. But we have table 6. Aaron comes down and he brings Proximus tequila. We have Potager. Eileen and Paul are the new owners over there.
Yep, that's exciting.
Yep, they'll
really
be there.
Exciting.
And Eileen is about ready to have a baby, so I doubt she's going to be there. She is.
But that chili will get it moving.
I know, that's what I said. I said she should come and eat lots of chili and walk around, and for sure.
Yeah, for sure, that will be the day. And then it's on your chili.
Chili. Exactly, every year. Mark the birthday.
It's funny you just touched on it, but kind of the adjuncts of what folks are doing with their chili now. And I think you want to stand out a little bit, but really the base of good chili is good chili, and then you start from there. What's some of the oddest chili that you've seen people put together?
Clams. We had clam and chili, yeah. It worked pretty well.
Did it really?
Yeah. The clam part was memorable.
I'll bet it was. Now, last year I judged the amateurs.
Yeah.
I think there were probably 30 entries that came across the table, and it was an interesting thing to see that many chilies come across. And you guys do such a great job of getting the chilies. They're all numbered. It's a blind tasting, so you don't know who's who or what's what. But the amount of variations that were out there, it was pretty astounding. I think one of them, there was a fish chili that was out, and it just caught me off guard. But then you really try and take it for the spirit of what it is,
it's still got to be good.
Chili is. Yeah.
Well, I think what you have to have, though, is you have to have some chili in there. You have to have something that tastes like either chili powder, green chilies, some sort of chili component, because sometimes it can be sort of brothy or too tomatoey or, like an Italian influence or a different influence, but you still need chili in there at the end of the day. It's got to have some chili in it.
Do you have a favorite chili recipe?
I was going to ask that, yeah.
I am not a recipe person. I have all these great cookbooks, but I really kind of cook by the seat of my pants. And so it's not very consistent. But I do like to usually make green chili, although I make this great chili where you put ground chicken, ground pork, cumin, cilantro, chicken broth, garlic, onions, and you finish it off with a lot of lime juice, and it's really tangy. And chipotle.
Sounds good. You don't enter, though, do you?
I don't know.
Well, chipotle is the smoke right there.
Yeah,
that
the
really
smoke and
ties
the
it,
heat,
yeah.
and then you have the tang of the lime and the cilantro. And you
fun.
put white beans and black beans in it.
So accoutrements. Brian, cheese on your chili?
It depends. It really depends on how, one, what kind of mood I'm in.
Yeah.
But on how the chili comes out to me. If it's more soupy, then I tend to put cheese in it. If it's chunky and straightforward, I'm more of like that hearty chili guy.
Gotcha.
But I will tell you, and I love to see it here. Oh, yeah, well, there should be plenty of those, and I can throw a little extra in.
Chopped fresh onions.
Yeah, but you know what I'm going to say that's over there, and it's going to surprise you because I'm so organic. Is the Frito-Lay, the Fritos.
Fritos, yeah.
I think Fritos are fun on chili for sure.
I do, too.
I mean,
and to scoop with it. Like, that's a kid's dream right there. How about crumbled crackers?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to have
me
that,
too.
but
saltines you're talking, though.
Yeah.
You're talking saltines,
Yeah.
You got to call it what it is, because crackers nowadays, man, I'm not grinding up any, like, wheat thins or anything like that on my chili.
No.
rice crackers.
Or rice crackers,
I thought it'd be a given. So in the next segment, we're going to catch up with Rick Sharman from Uno Mas, and this is his recipe, do you know?
I think it is, yeah. Patrick, who owns those restaurants, or at least is a partner in those restaurants, he's pretty laissez-faire, so I bet he lets... Because one time, I forget who it was. Oh, he serves rabbit on Easter.
Oh, really?
As a joke, kind of.
Interesting.
Kind of. But, yeah, Patrick's a big falconer, so he gets a lot of rabbit. I don't know if he serves that at his restaurant, but it was just kind of tongue-in-cheek. So I'm just saying he lets his chef have a lot of leeway and liberties.
Yes.
Yeah.
Patrick is one of those interesting guys, and I don't know, Pearl Street, the Baron of Pearl Street, I don't even know what you'd call him, but a falconer, and he also is a som. He's a sommelier. And he's also a fly fisherman as well. Instructor. The guy dabbles in anything. And Patrick, if you're listening, man, I'll heal up that ankle quickly, because I know you're a guy that loves to run around, especially so hands-on with his restaurants as well. The highlights for tomorrow for me are the ring toss.
Yeah.
I mean, I go away with a bottle of wine every time, Carolyn. I don't know if this is just an easy thing to do or I'm just great at it.
Well, we were saying that we are going to probably have to put a limit on the ring toss, because we have some really great wine, like a lot of expensive bottles, over $100. And
really?
Oh, yeah. A lot of very cool magnums. We have a 3-liter, a lot of really neat wine there. And then, of course, there's some that aren't as expensive, because that's the whole...
Explain the layout.
Having fun of it.
Yeah, the whole point of the ring toss.
I guess the layout is that you tape back 6 feet to 8 feet, maybe.
Yeah, and we were saying, well, maybe this year we might have to increase the distance a little bit, because people. One of my employees said, I swear there's this woman that must practice all year long, because she goes through and, she just keeps getting bottles. So I said, we're probably going to have to put a limit on that.
And there's some big bottles. There's some expensive wines there. I think there's also spirits as well, is there?
Yeah, we have a few spirits in there, some bottles of port, some...
Yeah, you just toss a ring out. But have to be 21 to play, or you just let the kid can do it, but it's going to the folks?
Well, I think I was talking about this with my own children, who are almost 21 or getting up there now, and I said, I just really don't think we are supposed to be doing that, so I think we're going to have to. You guys could, no, I don't know anything, but
that's plausible deniability.
Yeah, and we will have games for kids, and we're trying to do some sort of ring toss that would be non-alcoholic. We get a lot of support from Pizzeria Locale. They give us a lot of buy one, get one free coupons for their pizza, which is delicious.
Nice.
And so we can hand those out, and T-shirts and swag to kids. And so we'll probably have a younger ring toss, and then the adult ring toss. And then we're going to have a cork pull where you get to pay $20 and you'll get some bottle of wine. It might be a $10 bottle, or it might be a $50 bottle. So we have some of those.
You just roll the dice on that one,
You just pull a cork out of the bag and see what you get if you're feeling lucky.
So you're getting something, though, for your $20.
Yeah. Right. And, our distributors, most of them have supported us really well, and a lot of the breweries and distilleries because they're getting asked all the time. But this is our one event that we do, and we really ask them to step up.
The whole neighborhood really turns out for this, but it's a destination place. And again, on 6th and Marion, there's Troy Wine and Spirits, and just adjacent to that's your parking lot. Pull up, find a place to park. That's one thing. I say I Uber.
Right, yeah, I think it's a good idea to Uber.
Just Uber in there because you're going to be enjoying everything.
Right.
Not only that, but you have distilleries that pour, and you have breweries that pour as well. And I also think, is Ballesteri pouring?
Ballesteri will be there, yep.
And they're entering into the competition.
Well, unfortunately, they are the one restaurant that had to pull out because they have too many things going on.
Oh, really?
But we still have plenty of restaurants.
Well, you have Choice Market is coming.
Yeah, they're new this year.
Yeah, that's a new, and they just opened their second grocery store over on 10th and Osage.
Yeah.
Cool organization.
Yeah, and they
Choice
also
Market.
donated for, I think that might be part of one of our chef's prizes. So we've got lots of prizes for the home chefs and the professionals, and then we've got a whole silent auction area with, like, we have a Yeti cooler, Icelandic skis, a fly fishing guided tour from Trouts across the street from us.
Wow. And do you donate? Because you must get a bunch of money for all that. I mean, I'm going to come. I'm going to give you.
All of the profits are donated. So
are they? How cool.
Yeah, I mean, our goal is to make at least $25,000. So even if it's cold outside tomorrow, come on down because the chili's hot. We got cold beer. We got wine.
It's going to
a
be
little bit of
perfect
booze.
temperature.
Carolyn,
warm
tell
you
us
up.
where does the donations go?
So this year they're going to Same Cafe.
Nice. That is super cool.
So
That is very cool.
We pick a charity that we feel like the money that we raise is going to make a difference. And we also pick a needs-based charity where these are people that don't either have something to eat, they need shelter, they need clothes, just basic needs, because we get asked for so many donations throughout the year for the arts and dogs and disabilities. And we do donate a lot to those, and those are great charities. But I wanted to be able to pick one that these are local people that have needs that need to be met. And so Same Cafe brings nutritious and delicious food, via food truck or going out to places where they don't have access to that. And then it also provides job training and an opportunity for people to learn how to cook and run restaurants, and also a lot of volunteer opportunities there. So it's really a cool model that they're actually putting up in other places as well.
That is great.
Yeah, the money's really making a difference. I mean, it's like you see a huge impact from, every dollar that you donate in that kind of situation. So that's super cool.
Yeah, and it's all local. Most of it is locally grown food. It's organic.
Yeah.
A lot of gluten-free. Yeah.
Really well. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that was really fun to find them this year.
Tomorrow, what time do we start?
We start at noon. It ends at 4. And the critics judging will be first. And then your beans need to be in the jar by 2:45 or 3, depending on the home chef or the professional.
Yeah, so everybody gets an allotment of beans when they come in with upon ticket price. Get the allotment of beans, and then you go around. It's the honor system, and you put your bean where you'd like that, and the winners are. It's fun to watch because a lot of them are surprised. I think last year one of the biggest hits was the vegan chili.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you remember this, but I think one of the women that won, or at least she placed last year, and she was blind.
I do remember that booth.
Yeah.
I do remember
and that was really cool because, it was her chili, and it was just like, everybody was like, oh man, it was just, I don't know how to explain it. You probably had to be there, but that was pretty neat.
Heartwarming, to say the least. So 9 years, tomorrow's number 9. Is that right? So noon to 4. You're going to go with me, Brian?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to go down there.
Brian's going
I'm going to bring the kids too. I've got my kids this weekend, and we're having fun.
Oh, and the kiddos love that for sure.
Yeah.
You're going to get your fill of chili. Truly, I don't know how you could possibly sample all of them.
No, I think you would be feeling ill.
Yeah. What's the ticket price?
It's $25.
$25 to get in.
You can go online tonight, or and we're going to cut that off at some point because we got to organize that list. And then in the store tomorrow, or at the front gate tomorrow.
Do you pay less online?
No. We did have a sale until yesterday. where it was $20, and now it's $25, which is still a bargain.
Yeah, it's not going to change your life, but it will change the lives of some others with that charity.
Yep.
And that is really what these types of things are all about, is community. And I know a lot of your reps from different companies do so much for you during these times of years, too. Are there any notables that you would like to thank?
Yeah, definitely. Elevation really stepped up, and Cerebral stepped up a lot. Laws always comes, and Leopold's always comes. Jason from Harvest, he brought a ton of wine this year, which was really nice. Paul from Craft. And probably listeners may not know those names because they're distributors, but they were really great in supporting us. There's 20 different breweries that have supported us, so we really do appreciate it. It's hard right now, I think, for a lot of breweries with the whole grocery store thing, because their distribution has been thinned out a lot. And so it's not necessarily the panacea that I think they imagined. And then we have, like I said, the distilleries. 291 gave us some stuff. Breckenridge. There's a lot. Peach Street.
Yeah. In
nice Palisade. Yep.
It's so cool, and that's really what I love about this event, is how hyper-local we are, and you stick with that theme throughout this chili cook-off, which is tomorrow. We'll be down there. Encourage you to do so, too. Just get your ticket online. It's going to be easy for you. And we'll see. Tickets. You also sell tickets at the door to be able to do different things like the ring toss, those types of things.
Yes. So we have tickets. It's 10 tickets for $10 or 25 tickets for $20. And we have all sorts of different kinds of beer. And they're very reasonable. I mean, a lot of times you go to a festival or a game, it's really expensive, and we're not doing that. But we are, raising money for the charity.
Yep.
And then it's like a buck for the Jump Castle or something like that. One ticket.
Sure. You're not allowed in there, Brian, in the Jump Castle. There's a limit to that. Okay. Beyond that, we want to see at the chili cook-off. What hard seltzer? What do you do with hard seltzer these days? Are you selling a lot of that?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. That's a touchy subject for us.
I know. Everybody.
It's White Claw is actually going to be there.
Yeah.
They reached out to us, and we're not going to say no to anyone. People love hard seltzer. I mean, people are going into that business trying to replicate what they're doing.
Yep.
And, it's crisp, clean. Men and women are drinking it.
What else is hot? What's a trend that's coming up?
Sake. We're doing a lot of sake. I just did a sake dinner last night, and it's not cheap, the good stuff, but you will be amazed. Like, I drank sake when I was in college, and that was not a good
experience.
That was not a good experience.
That stuff back then was like, and the hot. I mean, I never ordered the hot because it's the cheaper of the. Now, let me ask you: have you tried Colorado sake?
Yeah, actually, we had. I can't remember the name of it. They do hibiscus.
Yes. We had them on the show, and they brought a few of their flavors.
Yeah, we did have them. Yeah, and we do sell them. And I think they're very refreshing and tasty.
For a nice little local sake, I mean, it's surprising.
Well, I think, people are interested in coming to Colorado to produce sake because of our water. So the water that you use is what really influences a lot of what the sake is about. Yeah, it's about the rice and how it's milled and that whole process, but also water is very key. So,
last question. What's your go-to wine these days? What are you drinking?
I love white Burgundy. I wouldn't say I can never limit it to one. There's never one producer that I go for.
But you like a good white Burgundy, which is like a good French.
It's Chardonnay. Yeah. And
it's real, but that's the real Chardonnay.
You do own a liquor store, though. I just picture you kind of like, okay, what's up for tonight?
Well, you'd be surprised. Yeah, I mean, I definitely can't do that anymore. I think at one point I would have bottles galore on my counter, and my husband used to go crazy. He would say "Oh my God, could we get rid of all this stuff on our counter?" But now I usually only have one bottle. Although I will say too, one thing I like to point out to customers is I use a Coravin, and so that helps me save the wine, so I don't have to drink the whole bottle.
Is that what it is now? We don't have that, so we have to drink those.
Well, no,
I know you guys don't know one,
use
but,
those
I use
little
one.
the plastic pump thing I've used
the
for
vacuum
years.
vent.
The vacuum
Yeah.
vent. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
used that for years, and I've always been happy with it because it works. But the Coravin is
I mean, if you're going to kind of splurge on a nice bottle and you don't want to have the whole thing, then I use my Coravin, which it plays as inert gas in there, and I'm able to enjoy a glass of wine by myself.
I have friends with it, and they tell me they love it.
Yeah.
Carolyn Joy, thank you as always.
Thank you.
And we'll see
really
you tomorrow.
appreciate it.
Oh,
yeah,
for
this
sure.
is awesome.
We're going to have the winner of last year's chili cook-off winner, and Rick Sharman is going to join us from Uno Mas. That's next right here on the Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio.
Choose your path. Iberland.
Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Facebook for all the fun photos and videos. Just search The Modern Eater or check out the website, themoderneater.com.
How is it that apps can help you with everything? Your steps, your sleeping patterns, the traffic. But you pay for car insurance that's based on, well, who knows what? The way everyone else drives? The insurance company's whim? Well, that's what Nobler Insurance is here to fix. Car insurance with personalized monthly rates and rewards based on how much and how well you drive. No mysterious rates or mumbo-jumbo from an insurance agent that you're pretty sure is taking advantage of you. The Nobler app can measure things like how hard you brake and whether you're texting and driving. I know, you'd never do that. To things like daily mileage, to time of day, and even road choice. Do you head out on the highway or take the old town road? The bottom line, Nobler bases your personal monthly rates and rewards on how you drive, not everyone else, which means good drivers can save a lot of money. Nobler is simply smart insurance for smart drivers. So get your quote at Nobler.com. That's Nobler.com.
Individual savings may vary. Must meet eligibility requirements to bind a policy.
Hey, it's Greg Holland.
90 seconds to live read.
When I go out to eat, I not only want to eat delicious food and drinks, but I also want to eat where I know my money is going to a local restaurant that I believe in. I believe in the Goods restaurant on Colfax and Mark Whistler. The Goods is a community restaurant and bar with a menu focusing on vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, and keto options. Comfort food lovers, try the best burger on planet Earth. I love it. 8 ounces of grass-fed beef and never, ever any hormone.
1 minute to live read.
The Goods is truly a cultural melting pot, a family restaurant open to all. Their bar program is amazing. Saddle up at their long, luxurious bar, have a nice craft beer or a cocktail. Like their Facebook page and stay up on amazing events and specials going on throughout the week. Located on East Colfax, directly connected to the Tattered Cover Bookstore, across from East High School with free parking and a garage in back. Look them up online, thegoodsrestaurant.com. I'll see you at the Goods.
30 seconds to live read.
With the best. Little Rich here from Rockalitas Tortillas and the Modern Eater. Our wraps fold cold and don't break open, yet they're soft and delicious. What's my secret? Ardent Milk.
You put the live read in the log, and then after the live read, you just go. And then it hits the rejoin, right? Okay.
Traditional and
just making sure. So you got 15 seconds. You're welcome.
Specialty products dedicated to providing the culinary industry with the next grains and unique plant-based ingredients. I love Ardent Mills, and
5 seconds.
To bake the best, you must use the best. Learn more at ardentmills.com.
Back to the show in just a second, you guys, but before we do that, I want to talk to you about bread, and more specifically, Aspen Baking Company. If you love bread, but you don't love preservatives or artificial colorings or chemicals, then aspenbaking.com is where you're going to go.
So if I love all the junk, the chemicals, I don't want Aspen.
That's correct.
Go away from that.
Yeah. I mean, they've got bread at 7-Eleven, hot dog buns, and things like that. You can get some good chemicals in there.
Okay, but not Aspen.
But if you don't like them, then aspenbaking.com is what you want to research. You can get hoagies, focaccias, ciabattas, baguettes, croissants, bear claws, lobster rolls, pound cakes, coffee cakes, box lunches. Brian Freeman, you own a company where you cater
yes,
your employees
lunches,
from time
box
to time.
lunches, and I love gluten. So I personally am one of those guys. I think gluten is good.
You're absolutely right, and that's where you go. It's Aspen Baking Company. I'm going to say the website one more time, and then we'll get back to the show. Are you ready? Get a pen if you can't remember this, but it's pretty easy.
Whoa. I'm getting my pen.
You ready?
So.
All right. It's aspenbaking.com.
My name's Chef Keegan Gerhardt, owner of B-Bar, and you're listening to The Modern Eater on iHeartRadio.
Cool, back at it from Studio Kitchen, Colorado. Coming up the home stretch of the 6 o'clock hour, and at 7 o'clock we'll check in with Brittany Stanley and Ice-O-Matic and talk about all the things we love about ice.
I love ice.
I'm telling you.
I'm a geek on it because we use a special ice, but we'll talk more.
We'll dig into ice. And
we're in Chile right now. This is the hot side of this.
7:30. Ron Johnson will be on from Broken Arrow Distillery, and right now, in the meantime and in between time, here he is, and Rick Sharman. Do I have that right, Rick?
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect. Uno Mas. And we hear, word on the street is last year this was the winning chili over there.
That it was. So I got in a chili competition about 2 years ago. This is my third year in it. The first year I took second place. Second year took first place, so hopefully defending my title this year.
That's crazy, just that consistency, man. Awesome. Are we going to hear some secrets here tonight? We have some of your delicious chili. If you're
I
on
watched
Facebook.
you make it, man. I wrote it all down.
No, you did.
I was spying from around the corner.
He was at my house last night looking over the fence.
Rewinding the tapes.
That looks like this.
So first of all, your passion for chili, do you have one, or are you just a damn good chili cook?
So I'm growing up in Texas, chili's life down there, and I always, being a cook coming from Texas, I always figured I got to have a chili recipe. And so through the years, I made chili a bunch of different ways. I tried different meats. And so eventually, kind of over time, just came together to where I finally came up with a recipe. I was like, okay, this is it. This is my chili recipe. When I have kids, this is what I'm going to kick down. And this is how I'm making chili for the rest of my life. Luckily, I happened to come up with that recipe right before the first chili cook-off. So that just kind of was convenient.
Is it that microphone over there?
Yeah, could you just put it underneath there so it's not on the table? There you go. There you go. Now it's done. There, I fixed it.
So with the chili I made, I wanted to just kind of keep it simple. Before I was using a lot of different produce and a lot of different meats and whatever. So I was like, you know what? Scratch all that. Let's just keep it simple. So what I did on this one and how it's different from the other chilies I've ever made is that I actually cook the meat separate from the chili. I was finding a lot of problems when you were making like stew meat and whatnot. Some pieces would be tender, some pieces would be tough, just because of the sizes and the differences in the way meat cooks.
Plus, it would pull the flavor from the meat as well, right?
Yeah.
Leaving it.
So what I decided to do was like, hey, I'm just going to go ahead and do this completely different. So what I do now is I actually will smoke a brisket. Texas-style smoke, oak, salt, pepper, super simple. Smoke it for about 12 hours till it's about 203, 205 temp. Let it cool. And then make the chili separate, which is just the only real produce, vegetable in there is going to be the onion. Everything else is seasoning. Chili powders, onion powder, cumin, whatnot. Once the brisket's
cold. It's not
cold.
going to give it all to us.
Not all of it. There's a little bit. But after that, just cut up the brisket, mix it in there, and then that's it. And make sure that all the meat is super tender all the way through. It gives a really great flavor to the chili.
That just sounds so good, doesn't it?
Mustard powder?
No mustard powder.
No mustard.
No ketchup.
Sometimes a little bit, just a little bit of ketchup.
I'm a firm believer of. I think chili always has ketchup. I don't know where I was born. But
it gives it a little bit of it gives it a little sweetness, a little bit of a tomato base without having to actually use like tomato sauce or anything like that. So every now and then gets a little squeeze of ketchup in it.
It's one of the things I've always done in my chili recipe personally.
That was my secret ingredient. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. But I think that should be in all. I don't think it's chili if it doesn't have a little ketchup. I mean, I know guys that I go way back with chili, and they would use chili as the biggest base. Where it was, to me, it was not chili, but ketchup.
Yeah.
As they would use a ton of it, like cups of it. And I was always like, we'd always make big pots of it, but as a kid, for whatever reason, chili's something.
When you go overboard with the ketchup, it becomes real tomatoey and real sweet.
Yeah.
And you don't really want that. You still want it to taste like chili, but the sweetness kind of helps balance it out a little bit. So a little bit of ketchup does go a long way on it.
Yeah.
I always say the accoutrements in there is what I like. I like to be able to put a few of my own additives that I like in there. But it looks like are you doing cheese?
So what I like to do for when I serve my chili is I do cheese, a little bit of sour cream, Fritos, it's a must, a little bit of green onion, a little bit of cilantro, and then I top it with a little bit more chili powder right before I serve it.
Gosh. He's got a great presentation, too. I mean, look at that.
And you know what I like about this chili is he's not trying to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
He's just trying to make
it's
a really
chili, man. Yeah, we don't need to.
That's the thing about it. I was like,
we can overthink it.
Trying a lot of other chilies that I've had, like, going to competitions and whatnot, and sometimes I'm like, well, you got way too much stuff in here and not enough meat. Like, there's like bell peppers and big old chunks of onion, big old chunks of tomatoes, and I'm like, it's chili. I want to taste the meat. I want to taste the chili. I don't want to try the other store, corn and all that. Then, of course, with it being Texas Red, there's no beans in it.
No beans in there?
No beans.
I didn't even notice that.
Nope, it's just meat.
Holy cow.
Meat, chili, and then the garnishes, the toppings.
Now, you just don't like the beans, or you don't?
No,
it's not the flavor you're looking for?
I love beans. Like, I love putting beans in my chili. If I make chili at home, like, I'll throw beans in there, no problem. But when I serve a competition and I'm doing Texas Red, no beans.
That's it.
That's it. That's the one thing you got to do.
The purity law.
You tell somebody you're serving Texas Red, and the first thing out of their mouth is, does it have beans? You're like, no beans, because if you say it has beans, I'm like, it's not Texas Red.
That's right.
You done lost them.
You're describing something else. Oh, cool. More friends and family are walking into the kitchen here. Here's what we're going to do, and I think, do you mind if we talk about Uno Mas in the next segment? Let's do that. I do want to take a break, and it's very cool that you came here with us tonight, Rick. Uno Mas and Rick Sharman. We're going to take a break right here at Studio Kitchen, Colorado. Again, the next hour, we're going to talk about ice. Are you an ice lover?
I love ice.
I think you have to, right?
You got to.
Yeah.
There's so many variations of ice.
Man, I'm a freak about it, I tell you.
the folks that chew on ice.
Yes, we had a little talk about chewing on ice.
I think that most of those people are just stopping smoking cigarettes at that point in time.
Well, I just had some Hawaiian ice. I just was and had some shaved Hawaiian ice last week.
We'll talk about that at the 7 o'clock hour. All right, we'll continue with Rick Sharman from Uno Mas right here, live from Studio Kitchen, Colorado. You're tuned in to the Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio.
Choose your path. Cyberland.
Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Facebook for all the fun photos and videos. Just search The Modern Eater or check out the website, themoderneater.com.
What would you like to be better at?
Dancing.
Poker.
Yoga.
According to a study, CVS customers are better than most at something important, staying on prescriptions, which tends to make you healthier. So get a free prescription savings review. Plus, earn up to 50 extra bucks rewards each year for filling. Because of the things you could be better at, staying healthy tops them all. Treat yourself well at CVS. Terms and conditions apply. Not all prescriptions eligible. See our pharmacist or cvs.com/rx savings or /rx rewards.
There's nothing like meeting face to face. And there's nothing like Zoom to make that happen. Zoom lets you connect and do business across town or around the world. Zoom ties together all of your communication needs into one easy platform for video conferencing, phone calls, group chat, webinars, and your conference rooms. Connect easily from anywhere, your mobile phone, your laptop, or conference room. Zoom is how business gets done. Get your free account at Zoom.com today. Meet happy with Zoom.
Hey, it's Greg Holland back for Gluten-Free Things. Are you intolerant or sensitive to gluten? Or maybe you're a gluten-free lifestyler? Is your menu limited because you've eliminated gluten from your diet? Are you missing the taste of foods that traditionally contain gluten? What if I told you that you can add breads, pizzas, muffins, cakes, cookies, waffles, croissants, English muffins, the list goes on, right back to your menu. Gluten-Free Things is a local gluten-free and vegan bakery that reintroduces you to the foods you love. Owner John Irvin believes gluten-free shouldn't taste like the box that it's packaged in. Trust me when I tell you, the products from his bakery in Arvada are fresh, flavorful, and masterly crafted, leaving you with a product that tastes like the real thing. Simply delicious. The bakery is located in Arvada on 64th and Sims across the street from Arvada West High School. Check out their website at glutenfreethings.com. You'll be amazed with the variety of gluten-free products they make. And chefs, don't leave your gluten-free restaurant guests without options. Contact John at info@glutenfreethings.com. That's info@glutenfreethings.com to see what he can do for you. Give him a shot. 11651 West 64th Avenue in Arvada. It's Gluten-Free Things.
Hey, chef friends, it's Little Rich here from Rocalitas Tortillas. Rocalitas, known for hyper-local, innovative, and healthy tortillas and chips, served by Colorado's top chefs, and that's why we only use Colorado Mills sunflower oil. If you, too, want to serve the healthiest, most vibrant-tasting foods, you must use Colorado Mills. Colorado Mills is hyper-local, Colorado-grown, cold-pressed in Lamar, Colorado. Whether you bake, fry, or saute, get your Colorado Mills today. Available through Shamrock, Growers Organic, and Dawn Foods. For the best oil in the business, use Colorado Mills.
Hey, it's Chef Elon Wenzel, owner of Element Knife Company. If you cook, then you'll know the importance of a quality knife and proper care. My training in Japan exposed me to exceptional cutlery. That's why I am so excited to offer you the knives I fell in love with. Element Knife Company is chef-driven, and my goal is to support and educate. Get at me for a knife clinic.
2 minutes.
Station. Find me at elementknife.com or by simply calling 303-460-4628. For the best knives in your kitchen, think Element Knife Company.
Listen up, Barb.
1 minute. with the return. 1 minute.
Proud Souls Barbecue and Provisions. Proud Souls is Denver's authority of all things barbecue. Do you rule your neighborhood with the best backyard barbecue? From beginners to pit masters, Proud Souls has all the equipment you could possibly want. A variety of wood, pellet, and charcoal grills and smokers. Award-winning pit masters and owners of Proud Souls, Dan and Tony, have a passion for barbecue, and it shows. Located on 25th and Federal, Proud Souls retail store is bursting at the seams.
30 seconds to rejoin.
Essentials, the Spice Guy spices, and superior flavored fuels for your pit like hickory, mesquite, oak, pecan, cherry, apple, peach, maple, grape, and a variety of blends. Hit their website, ProudSoulsBBQ.com, for delicious hands-on barbecue classes and get information on current promotions and deals. For the best
10 seconds to rejoin.
Locally owned and operated on 25th and Federal, there are guys. Proud Souls Barbecue and Provisions. That's ProudSoulsBBQ.com.
Feed me now.
This is the Modern Eater Show.
That's right, boy. I'm starving.
And now it's time for In the Kitchen.
How am I supposed to keep on feeding you? Kill people?
Brought to you by Proud Souls Barbecue and Provisions. Award-winning competition cooks and purveyors of specialty barbecue supplies right here in Denver, Colorado. ProudSoulsBBQ.com.
Feed me all night long.
Ooh, that's good.
That's really good.
That is tasty.
What a fun show tonight. And right now joining us, back at it, and Rick Sharman from Uno Mas is rejoining us, and Brian and I just had a chance to taste this award-winning chili, and we see why it wins consistently time and time again.
Can you eat it all fast enough? Can I give you a shovel?
First of all, Proud Souls, what a fun, what a pleasure on Thursday night. Even though the Broncos lost, we had a great tailgate party with Proud Souls. Great turnout. I want to thank anybody that was involved and came.
And if you didn't come, you missed it. It was Proud Souls,
Next
Justin
time.
Brunson.
Yep.
What a, I mean,
291
what an
was
idea.
here. Tommy Knocker Brewery, and the fun was just had.
Michael Myers was here. I'll tell you, I was impressed when I pulled up on the scene that night before the game. I was happy. I made this my tailgate right before I watched the Broncos.
It was good stuff. But, too bad for the Broncos. But as we continue right here from Studio Kitchen, Colorado, eating this award-winning chili, which you can have and hopefully go vote for the man. He's got my vote, even though I'm impartial because I'm supposed to be a judge.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Is this on the menu every day?
No, this is not on the menu, actually. This is just something we do for the chili competition.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. I think there's an opportunity, man.
I'll
tell you what. Tell you what.
So, Uno Mas, first of all, what do you do at Uno Mas?
I bartend.
Great. That's so cool.
Well, but there's more than that. He's been with them he's been with them just about since the beginning.
So, right when I started with Uno Mas, it was close to 2.5 years ago. Moved here from Texas. Before that, I cooked professionally for about 12 years. Was line cook, came up, sous chef, executive chef. Been cooking my whole life. Then when I started at Uno Mas, I was looking to get out of the kitchen, so I went back to
Too
waiting
handsome
tables.
to be in the kitchen. He wanted to be out front.
Started waiting tables, and about my first month and a half there, the previous executive chef resigned and went and took another job somewhere else, so I stepped in and helped him out. So I took over the kitchen for about 7-8 months till we got it to where it was running. Took a step back, and then they were like, we got a bartending position, you want to come bartend? And I was like, great, that sounds amazing. So that's what I've been doing for the past 2.5 years. Pretty much.
And they're rocking their chili contests.
Yeah, that too.
Representing for sure.
So Uno Mas on Pearl Street, right?
Yes, sir.
And the other restaurants that are on Pearl Street, great as well. This is really a standout place, and I look to the farm-to-table thing that you have here. Where do you draw some of your produce from?
A lot of our produce we get from a company here in Denver called American Produce. They bring us all our stuff, our cilantro, our fresh jalapenos. It's top-notch. Everything they bring us is great.
Did I read this incorrectly on the website that you were asking folks in the neighborhood if they had an abundance of crops growing in their garden that you would actually go over there and help them harvest?
Not me personally, not that I'm aware of.
That's on your.
He's keeping it real. He's keeping it real.
We do have but we've had a couple of people that have come in and been like, that stuff like they've grown at home, like microgreens and whatnot, and we've purchased some of those to help use in the kitchen and whatnot. But how about supporting local people?
Yeah. I mean, I love that. One of the things that is fun, there are more restaurants opening up like that, but we should actually sort of switch to a booze conversation because our man right here is bringing all the booze in, and he knows what's at the restaurant as far as the booze side of it. I mean, and that's a hard thing is with tequila. And I love Mexican, and I think you can, take South American Mexican food to a great place in Colorado because I think it's wide open.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, but on the booze side, we can't get a local. You can't make tequila. Anywhere else but tequila, tequila. And so it's always been one of the hard things for me is because I'm a huge tequila advocate.
Oh, I love tequila. Once actually when I moved here is when I started drinking more tequila than anything else. Surprisingly, not so much
not
in Texas. In Texas, I was drinking a lot of whiskey, but I came here, started working in a tequila bar, and I always loved tequila. And but working in a bar and tasting all the different ones and learning about tequila, my appreciation for tequila is way different than what it used to be.
What's your favorite?
Right now, my favorite, we have two at my restaurant that I really, really enjoy. Proximus is a really good one. They are, it's made in tequila, but the owners are actually here in Colorado.
Nice.
Really nice, super cool people, delicious tequila. And then another one we carry there is called Azunia. That one is made in the town of Amatitán, right next to tequila. And it is awesome. It is some delicious stuff right there.
How many varieties do you have?
Tequila?
Yeah.
I'd probably say close to 25 to 30 different varieties of tequilas of different brands.
Plenty. Nice. Plenty of variety.
Oh, there's something there for everybody.
Yeah, and so, when you go there, you're going to have the whiskey as well.
We do have whiskey, we have rum, we have gin. All that kind of goes on one shelf, and then all the other shelves are either tequila or mezcal. But we do have other stuff there, too.
Are you a fan of mezcal?
Oh, I love mezcal.
Do you really?
Ever since, first time I tried mezcal when I was a kid, it was that, not a kid, when I was younger, one of my teenager years, I guess. It was that bottle that was in the corner of the liquor store that just kind of was the only bottle of mezcal they had, and it was terrible. But then we started, when I came here and we started carrying really good mezcals and starting to try them, my opinion has totally changed. It is delicious.
Well, and the cool thing, you can make mezcal here.
You can make mezcal.
They don't have a patent on that. Like champagne, you can only make it in the Champagne region of France.
Well, it's more of a method, though.
Yeah, mezcal you can pretty much make anywhere in Mexico, and you don't have to. You're not limited to the blue agave plant. You can use other agave plants to make mezcal.
And I believe there's a local place making it.
Hey, Rick, let me ask you a question and tell me if this is true or not. Jay Parker here. Somebody told me that the whole tequila thing with making tequila in Tequila, Mexico, and calling it tequila out here, that now something happened law-wise in the world that you can make tequila here and call it tequila. Do you know any truth to that?
Not that I've heard of. The only tequila...
Some distiller told me that, and I can't remember who it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We'll have to figure that one out.
Not that I know of. I've never heard anything like that. As far as I know, in order to call it tequila, you still have to make it down there in that region.
Yeah.
You can call it an agave spirit. You can make tequila. You just can't call it tequila.
Yeah. Time flies when you're having fun, Rick. We'll see you tomorrow.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for having me on.
South Pearl
Uno
Street.
Mas on South Pearl. We have
Flat
South
Park.
Pearl, 6th and Clarkson, and then we just opened up a new location in Fort Collins.
We're going to knuckle up at the bar and sample some of your delicious
Oh, dude, come
tequila.
hang out with me, man. It's a blast. We'll have a good time. I promise you.
I love it, man.
Rick
Thanks for
Sharman
coming out.
and Uno Mas right there. Next hour, we're going to talk about ice and then obviously some spirits. And back in the station there, we got Ron there.
It's not something we prioritize. Maybe because we don't want to think about a world without, well, us.
Yeah, you guys didn't hear it?
But fair, should we know?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll turn it up louder next time. I thought.
College tuition, grocery.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, sorry about that.
Without securing the future of our families, which is why there's Ethos. Ethos is a new kind of life insurance company. It believes life insurance should be affordable and accessible for everyone. Ethos was founded by two college roommates who wanted to bring to life insurance the same technological efficiencies that have revolutionized so many other industries. Ethos can quickly provide the best policy for you and your family without doctor visits, long applications, and fine print. It can do in minutes what used to take weeks. So no more excuses. Ethos will bring you peace of mind by securing your family's future today.
Go to ethoslife.com now for your free estimate. That's ethoslife.com. ethoslife.com.
KRFX HD2 Denver.
This is Denver's talk station with Ross Kaminsky in the morning and Dan Kaplis in the afternoon. 630 KHOW Denver.
ABC News, I'm Yuni Han.
UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson formally asking the EU to delay Brexit after Parliament postponed the vote today, and also writing a letter personally opposing the delay. Earlier, Johnson encouraged Parliament to vote for an October 31st Brexit.
For the first time in almost 5 decades, the UK will be able to strike free trade deals with our friends across the world to benefit the whole country, including Northern Ireland.
And in Syria, the U.S.'s ceasefire apparently not stopping the Turkish offensive on the Kurds. Spokesperson for Kurdish forces Nesrin Abdullah telling ABC News the U.S.'s withdrawal of troops was like a knife in the back. There have been 38 Turkish attacks since. In Queens, New York, Senator Bernie Sanders speaking at his first campaign rally since he suffered a heart attack 3 weeks ago.
To put it bluntly, I am back.
Sanders' next public event is in Iowa later this week. This is ABC News. In New Orleans, a dangerous cleanup plan delayed after last week's deadly collapse of the Hard Rock Hotel. ABC's Brian Clark explains why.
Hours before a planned implosion of 2 large cranes that were damaged in last week's collapse at the Hard Rock Hotel under construction, experts realized there was more damage to those cranes than first thought.
They got up and got closer. They found out some things about it that have changed the way they're going to take it down.
New Orleans Fire Department Chief Timothy McConnell says those changes mean the 145,000-pound cranes will not be imploded any earlier than noon Sunday.
It's dangerous to do what they're doing, and it'll be dangerous when it happens.
3 people were killed, more than 20 others hurt in that collapse last weekend. Brian Clark, ABC News.
At the U.S. Capitol, actor Jane Fonda among the 17 arrested for unlawful demonstration and protesting climate change. The 81-year-old returning to civil disobedience almost 50 years after she was arrested for opposing the Vietnam War. Uni Han, ABC News.
Have you ever thought about saying goodbye to your job? Just walking into your boss and saying, "I quit." And how would you like to commute to work without ever leaving your home? Well, not long ago, a 39-year-old entrepreneur from a billionaire family spent $20 million in 3 years to find the best home-based business in North America. He researched 70 different companies, and when he found the only one that had real long-term potential, he bought it. And right now, he's looking for people to help him turn this company into his next billion-dollar success story. So if you're serious about making money from home without having to leave your home, well, grab a pen, because I'm about to give you the address of a website where you can learn all about this unique and rare opportunity. Write this down, www.goherenext.com. Now get on your computer and go to this site now. Part-time or full-time, your income is based totally on your performance. Interested? GoHereNext.com and say goodbye to your boss tomorrow. GoHereNext.com.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Credit Karma.
Well, both directions of I-76 remain shut down due to police activity near Federal. This is now going into its
2 minutes, 30 seconds.
Delays on both sides of I-76. That eastbound side closed at Federal. Westbound I-76 shut down at Pecos. Definitely a good spot to it if you can. Along I-25, crash in Lone Tree, northbound 25 near Lincoln Avenue. That's in the left lane, left shoulder. Construction still affecting northbound 225 getting to I-70. And off highways at Lola and Exposition, southbound Santa Fe at Hamden and Yosemite. Checking the forecast, says partly cloudy tonight, low of 35, currently 60. With your Impact Traffic and Weather, Justin Tyler, 630 KHOW.
Get your truly free credit scores and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma today. Download the Credit Karma app now. Credit Karma. Here's to progress.
The all-new 2019 Chevy Silverado, the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever. Now available with a great lease offer at your Northwest Ohio Chevy dealers. Silverado has the most functional bed of any pickup, more cargo volume than any other truck, and 12 standard tie-downs. That's 3 times more tie-downs than any competitor. Learn more about the dependable, long-lasting Silverado and find an amazing deal at NorthwestOhioChevy.com. Bed claims exclude GM vehicles. Class is half-ton full-size pickups.
The unemployment rate is lower than it's been in decades. That means if you're trying to hire a new employee, they probably already have a job, which means you need to try reaching them in a different way. That's where iHeartMedia comes in. Every week, our radio stations reach 93 the U.S., most likely when they're on their commute or already at work. So start connecting with the qualified candidates you've been looking for on AM/FM radio. Visit iHeartWorks.com. That's iHeartWorks.com.
scrumptious.com.
This is Dan Kaplis. You were probably raised by your folks the same way my mom and dad raised us. We were taught to fight the good fight, to stand up for what's right, and to do well by doing good. For me, it's fighting against giant insurance companies on behalf
30 seconds.
Who've had their lives turned upside down by a very serious injury or the
John Lennon, Imagine?
Yeah.
basis. If I can be of service to you, please feel free to call me at 303-770-5551 or hit dankapleslaw.com.
All right, we got it. We're coming in.
Heart radio station.
The following is a paid advertisement. The opinions, viewpoints, and promises made during the following program are not those of KHOW,
All right, will do.
staff, management, or parent company, iHeartMedia Incorporated.
How about a bite to eat? It's time for the second course, hour number 2 of the Modern Eater.
What are you hungry
like that.
for? Here's to a meal we're all here for. Delicious and tasty.
Now we're getting to the good stuff. With your hosts, Greg Hollenbeck, Jay Parker, and Brian Freeman.
Okay, let's go. Welcome back to hour number 2 of the Modern Eater Show right here from Studio Kitchen, Colorado, as we ramp up and fall is upon us.
Yep.
And I'm just imagining. Brian, imagine this. Imagine a world that just has no ice.
Ooh, that's not a world I like.
It's, no cold drinks.
No.
Nothing really refreshing.
No tasty, frosty beverages.
Never seeing an ice cube or keeping your beer cold in a cooler.
I can't imagine.
What would that world be like?
It wouldn't be a place that I would live.
Imagine it.
No, I can't.
You cannot imagine it?
I won't go there, man. I do not like the heat. I went to Hawaii and I wanted to stay inside more than but I hiked.
Ice is used for so many things.
Yes.
Not just drinks.
Yeah.
Imagine not having your fish on top of ice.
Ice, yeah. Imagine not having a shaved Hawaiian ice. That's a tasty little frosty dessert.
Shaved ice.
Shaved ice, man.
Imagine
it was
all
just
of that
ice.
stuff gone. What a dull world we would live in.
Yeah.
Would
I'm
you
with
want to
you.
live in that world?
No, I'm telling you. No.
You need an ice-filled world.
Don't take me there, man. You know I live in a world at 32 degrees. Remember my world of produce. I'm trying to keep stuff alive that's been picked out of the ground.
What would you do without ice?
Yeah, what would I couldn't. I mean, ever since I've had my company, I think I told I had this story for us already, is about the fact that I had a special ice machine called a flake ice, which you don't have a model here today, but it's hard to have a flake ice model because, quite honestly, it's almost like a shaved ice because it's got it's got a blade that's constantly churning all day and just dropping little pieces of flakes.
When you think of ice, do you think of Brittany Stanley?
I do, because I tell you, I've got one of my isomatics. I love what she does.
Brittany Stanley, isomatic, here with us right now, and it's so good to have you in the kitchen.
Yes, thank you for having me.
But what a sad world we have in the kitchen with no ice machine.
I know, we were just talking about that. We definitely need to get you a little under counter so you can have your beer cool.
Like a restaurant with no ice. Think of the struggles.
Yeah.
They're real. They're out there.
Right. Well, and, in a safety standpoint, too, I mean, heat is just as important as, freezing things sometimes and cooling them down. So a lot of different applications, right?
Well, and think about that. Chefs have to cool. You just nailed it right there, because chefs do have to bring something down to a colder temp.
You don't want that
immediately.
botulism, man. You do not want
you
that.
do not want botulism. You definitely don't
at all.
And
isomatic,
you've probably heard it all, right? Every ice joke in the world.
In my trainings, I like to play Ice Ice Baby as I come in. Yeah. I'm kind of running out of songs, though, so if you have any recommendations, I'm down.
I don't know, Don. See what you can find as far as ice songs go that maybe we've never heard back there, and just play them underneath us at the studio there at iHeart. So we always, Brian and I, we like to be ice geeks, but I'm more uninformed than Brian on ice. I know a few things, and mostly it's just for my drinks. It really is. That's what I need ice for. Other things besides drinks, Brittany?
Yeah, sure. So like we were talking about from the food standpoint of cooling down, right? So there's kind of a danger zone when it comes to cooking. And so cooling down at a quick time frame, and getting it down to a certain temperature, you're going to have to do that with ice, right? And so flaked ice can be a really good ice form for that. What else? The medical field, right? So think about, medicine, but then patients as well, ice chips and things like that, women in labor, all that kind of stuff. Business and application, industry, right? So a lot of it goes into cups, right? A lot of it's consumable, but, display ice too with seafood and things like that. I mean, think about, you guys were saying a world without ice, so think about going into a sushi bar and your sushi not sitting on ice, right?
Man.
So yeah, so a lot of different applications.
Last time we met up, I said, Europeans, man, what is it with Europeans and no ice? Is it electricity shortage?
You know,
like, why are we not making ice in Europe?
It's really interesting, and I don't know. So maybe next time we'll bring in somebody from England and we'll ask him.
You got an idea?
Yeah, I can tell you. So, renownedly, Europeans are healthier than Americans, right? I mean, those are statistics, right?
Whoa, okay,
Yeah.
wow.
All right.
Holy.
This
And
better
take
go
like
somewhere
5 steps
good.
back.
So-
Whoa, okay.
Right, so
Bring it to me.
Yeah, so here it is. So consuming a beverage and cooling it off is harder on the body, right? So if you drink something if you drink something that's room temperature, right? Well, no matter what it is, your body processes it faster. So if you consume something that's really cold, then your body has to put more blood down into your stomach to warm it up to a temperature that it can break it down.
I've never heard Jay Parker spit knowledge like this
Well,
before.
here, listen, I think everything he's saying is true about the temperature of liquids to drink them all day long, but I'm not going there with the Europeans. I don't think that's like, I think it's because these people came from a place with no electricity, and they were like, hey, listen, put your beer outside, it gets a temperature outside, I'm going to drink it, okay?
Well, hold on. What I'm saying is about, I'm not saying that that's the only reason, but I'm saying, like, they don't want the ice because that's part of their
Being
diet.
healthy.
Right.
Okay, being healthy.
And I don't know if that's why they do it, but I know it contributes,
I'll
whether
buy
it's on
into it.
purpose or not.
I like where you're going with it, man. I mean, I think you're selling it and everything.
Brittany,
but
it's nice to finally meet you. Thanks for coming on to the show.
But
I love you, Jay Parker.
the whole world lives off of American tourism, so cater to us.
Well, and
Give it
he's,
some ice.
he's definitely
from
on
one
to
extreme
something. I think he's definitely on to something. I mean, when you go to Europe, and I've had the pleasure of going a few times, when you get a glass of water, for example, it doesn't come with ice in it, and maybe that's why, right?
Well, I mean,
Your cocktail still will, right?
This part is just my opinion. My opinion is that in a lot of European places that don't come with ice, it's because they didn't have an ice machine or a lot of electricity.
Yes.
So they're just like, man,
Thank you.
can drink
That's
it.
where I'm
at.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a cultural thing,
Sure.
right? Versus, now they're just used to it. So when they're over here and they say, no ice, they're just used to it. But it still helps their health.
Well, and I think in some cases it can be sort of a luxury item as well. You can have regular, normal temperature tap water, or you can have ice cold water, right?
Yeah. But here's the deal.
You have 3 types of ice over here. Ooh, that's nice. Ooh, I look at this place. This is fancy. Motel 6 with 2 different kinds of ice. Woo!
Yeah. So luxury item, and so Isomatic takes ice to a whole nother level. Do you
Sure.
mind if we break off, come back, talk about that?
Yeah,
What that whole other
absolutely.
level is? All right, Brittany
just getting
Stanley,
warmed up.
Isomatic. I'm telling you, we love
I love
ice.
it.
and
You
this
guys
is
do.
like-
I love it.
Just jumped in on this conversation. You're probably a little weirded out by it, but I think that people really have, everybody has their own ice jam. This is how I like my ice.
Ice
You know,
jam.
I ask
like
for a
that.
big rock every time I go get a drink. Now I say I want my shot of tequila on a big rock.
Yeah.
And that's and half of the time the bartender gets it, and half of the time the bartender stirs and looks big rock.
Right.
And someone else, usually from down the bar, will scream, "That's ice."
Right.
All right, more ice talk right here on 630 KHOW when we return from Studio Kitchen, Colorado, the Modern Eater Show.
Choose your path through Cyberland.
All right, you guys are clear. We got like
And Facebook for all the
2 minutes until the live read.
Just search The Modern Eater or check out the website, themoderneater.com.
If this were just any door, and this were just any ignition, connected to just any transmission, in just any vehicle, then perhaps it would be okay to buy it from just anyone. But this is not just any car. It's a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz. Every detail has been inspected and road tested by highly skilled Mercedes-Benz technicians. And it's all backed by an unlimited mileage warranty, which makes the decision of where to buy one simple. Your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. The certified pre-owned sales event going on now through October 31st. Come in today and enjoy a credit of up to $1,500 towards your first 2 payments through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services. Because in the end, it's absolute confidence in genuine Mercedes-Benz parts, or it isn't. It's either Mercedes-Benz certified pre-owned, or it isn't.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on credit towards your first 2 months payment and certified pre-owned warranties.
1 minute to live read.
You're here for Encore Energy. How much are you paying for your natural gas? Wouldn't you like to save 10 to 20% on your natural gas bill? Of course you would. You're not crazy. Encore Energy and Brian Rizzuto can do just that, save you money. Give Brian a call, 720-245-5771. Maybe you own a restaurant or a brewery and use a ton of natural gas. This is how you save money. Get a free savings review from Brian Rizzuto and Encore Energy. Call Brian at 720-245-5771. Save 10 to 20% on your natural gas bill right now.
30 seconds to live read.
Spirits. It's a distillery. It's a place to hang. It's about quality. It's about taste. It's about passion. Infused with American spirit. Rocker whiskey, rocker rum, rocker vodka. Get ready.
15 seconds.
Feel and experience Old Town Littleton. And if you get hungry while you're drinks, they've got the best food truck line in town. Open Thursdays, Fridays.
5 seconds.
Rockerspirits.com. Rockerspirits.com.
Okay, back to our riveting ice conversation momentarily. Jeff Rourke and A-Plus Beverage Solutions. This is the man. I mean, he's making your beer taste like the brewer intended it to taste. 20 years in the business installing tap lines.
Family man.
Family man. 3 kids.
Yes.
3 daughters. He told me he's going to keep trying until he gets a boy. That's very bold to keep doing that until you get a boy.
But he does the best tap lines. And I will.
Most trusted man in the business. They fly him out. I mean, Colorado, he's our hyper-local staple, but people are catching on to him and bringing him out of the state. Most
Name
recent
drop.
project?
Name drop.
You want Monarch Casino.
Yes. Okay.
Huge. To run glycol lines like through a casino, half a mile
think about
away,
that.
man.
Did he tell you how many miles must have gone through that building?
Long way.
Long way.
Just a long way.
And to keep the beer fresh all the way
fresh and cold.
to
That's
your
the way
mouth.
you want it.
That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. And in order to do that, it's Jeff Rourke and A-Plus Beverage Solution. He's a phone call away. You need a pen.
I will get my pen.
This is his cell phone number.
Please give it to me twice.
Don't prank him.
I won't.
Just give him a call because he'll do maintenance as well. We know, and I go into restaurants and bars all the time. There's nothing worse. I feel so bad for the bartender who's pouring foam into a pitcher.
And I feel even worse for the customer.
Before they can pour it into a glass. And the temperature's changed. It's just a train wreck. And Jeff Rourke and A-Plus Beverage Solutions is going to make that all go away. If you give him a call at 720-272-3809.
One more time.
720-272-3809. It's Jeff Rourke and A-Plus Beverage Solutions.
Yo, what's up? This is Justin Brunson, Culture Meat and Cheese in Denver Central Market. I'm a meat guy. And you're listening to the Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio.
Why not? Just saw Justin Brunson today. He left his apron. That's the kind of kitchen we have. You're going to have so much fun, you're going to leave your apron.
Too close there.
That's right.
That's why Justin was here when we got here?
He didn't come say hi to you,
You
man.
want to hear something funny? You want to know where he left it?
Where?
In the walk-in with his hat. In the walk-in, because I took an apron and a hat out of the walk-in, and I was like, I don't know whose this is.
That should be alarming.
Whatever,
right?
And put it over there, you know. I mean, I don't know.
What I want to hear is Justin left it on the ice machine. He left it, and we need that. Okay, so seriously, here we are. We're flat-footed. We don't have any, it's like, Jay, run up to 7-Eleven, get a bag of ice.
All the time. All the time.
It's tacky. It's inappropriate. We're better than that.
Yeah, if you were
we
really.
need to fix that.
And you don't get to pick the ice you want when you're at set. You got to just get the schlub
Take what comes
bag,
out.
because I don't know if you know this or not, but they make different ice, and they make it for different purposes, and it actually enhances said drink per ice you've chosen.
Because it's amount of melt. It's all about the amount of
we're
melt
gonna get that
in there. Yep.
So you, Brittany Stanley, Isomatic, you go into a potential account, right? What do you do fact-finding wise?
Sure. So there's definitely a lot of questions that you kind of want to lead with, depending on their application. But, let's just throw a regular restaurant, right, that does brunch, lunch, dinner, and they have a bar, all that. So, figuring out basically what they're using with ice. So do you have a really intense cocktail menu? Do you want to kind of have that mixologist cube? Are you just doing frozen drinks, things like that?
So if you're a sports bar.
Right. So you're going to do a lot of beer.
Your needs are going to be different than a cocktail bar.
Right. So, you would probably go sort of the half cube route. That's probably the most versatile.
In the
That's
sports
this guy
bar, you're
also.
saying? right?
Yeah, right. So you're going to have a lot of waters, right, poured. So you're going to want to do, ice water
Well,
with
you're going to
that.
make it look like, and you're going to want to slow down your patrons because they're probably drinking
you want to
way
make
too
sure
much.
they're hydrating
I'm with you.
themselves.
I'm totally with you.
But you'll
hey,
have
Jay,
your
do you know
people-
something about that?
What happened?
What happened? Slowing down your patrons when they're drinking too much with a smaller ice cube. Did you know that you can do that?
Man, listen, we don't have enough time to get into the patrons that I serve and
coming
slowing
from the bar
them down.
world, you
I had
want
a
to
guy,
make sure.
Brittany had a guy last night. He threatened to take the life right out of my body because him and his buddies had. I won't even tell you how many drinks to protect myself, but they had too many drinks, and I was like, "Hey, man, listen, I can't give any more right now. The ice or not was not going to help, And he was like, I'll kill you and take your life." And I'm like, "Okay, have a good night," that sort of thing. So the ice wouldn't help me. However,
maybe. Would you like some of this delicious
this
hey, man,
water and ice?
Yeah, can I offer you a glass of ice if you just crunch on this and don't kill me, sir?
Can I get a life insurance policy on you, babe?
So, in addition to figuring out what ice form is best for that application, sizing is super, super important, right? So understanding how many turns is each table going to have, at their busiest time.
So size matters.
Wow.
In our world, very much.
Is that right?
That's wait. Hey, though, Greg, she said something really important there. I would never even have thought that she's looking at turns on tables, amount of people through a restaurant for
dispense more
the size
right?
of ice.
Well, and you have to think about making up for the ice that you use in brunch, right? So we size all of our machines based on a 24-hour production, right? So if you do a 400-pound machine, it's going to make 400 pounds in 24 hours. Well, if you use 300 of that at brunch, for example, it's going to take 24 hours to make up, to do that again. So, and a lot of people don't think that. I like to tell this story, actually. When I first started, one of my old managers had a customer, and the GM was calling and saying, "We're out of ice all the time. We have a lemon," because everybody loves to say that. "And we need a new machine. It's broken. It's broken." So he's like, "You know what? I'm just going to come in and figure out what's going on." So he goes in at like 8:30 in the morning, and he talks to the staff. And he's like, trying to figure out why the guy's coming in at 10:30 a.m. and half of the bin is empty, right? Well, it turns out they have a fairly extensive soup menu, and these guys are cooking huge vats of soup in the morning. And like we talked about earlier, they have to cool it down, right? So they can, safely hold it, and they're using half of the bin. But, so it's understanding all of these different things that are going to take that. I mean, if you have an oyster bar, for example, I used to work at Angelo's Tavern over on 6th, and we use a ton of ice just to put, out on the oyster bar, right? So just kind of thinking through all of that, it's more than just your waters and your teas and even your alcoholic drinks.
So what machine is just like the big daddy of them all?
Big Daddy, most commonly purchased, or like our
they
biggest?
Will give the most ice.
I use 1,200 pounds, man.
Do you really?
So,
mine is a 1,200 pound a day.
So we just came out with a 2,000 pound pearl ice. So that's that chewable ice that you see in Sonic and things like that. So now we have a 30-inch wide, 2,000 pound pearl ice. So big for gas stations and
those are the little
dispensers.
ones. If you've
the
seen
little
it,
one,
folks.
yeah.
Here,
These little
will you
guys.
hand those to me because I can put my hand.
Can you juggle with those?
Right up. I could on a good
man of many
day.
talents.
Yeah, I could on a good day. I don't know this late into it, but
one of the
but these are
coolest
small.
things-
This is cool.
One of the coolest things that Isomatic is addressing right now is how to make sure that you're servicing and cleaning your machines.
Right.
Talk about that.
Yeah, so the pearl ice has a different components inside, right? We were talking about it's kind of an auger and extrudes the ice, and flaked ice gets chopped and things like that. But your cubers, which are the most commonly purchased ice, they're the most versatile. They use evaporator plates, and so it's a totally different inside of a machine. Until we came out with our Elevation series, which is our new cuber series, you couldn't take any of these components out, right? So it was always a service call. And let's be honest, I mean, ice machines are hot boxes for bacteria, right? They get hot, they get cold, water's introduced, it's dark. So
And
all
there's
sorts of gross
water.
things.
Yeah,
Always. And it's the only machine that never shuts off in a kitchen.
Interesting.
And it's also the only machine that produces food, because ice is food, right? So, being able to clean your machines and make sure that your ice is clean is extremely important. And, if you don't take that front panel off, you don't know what's going on in there.
And if it's a service call, you wait it out. You
Well,
just
and
go, I'm waiting until
it's
the wheels fall off,
expensive,
right?
yeah.
I think I shared with both of you that I switched to. I used to buy these machines, and mine. I mean, they're expensive. They're like
They are.
$6,000 or more. and I would buy them, and then I decided recently to get on a contract with someone where they come in and they clean it, because these are things that I was worried about.
But if you're
in
with
my
Isomatic,
operations,
they would give you the ability to make sure you can do that all the time.
Well, this is their new technology, though. This is brand new killer stuff. I mean, well, now that I'm glad that I know this, because now, I mean, I don't want to.
Well, we went on the Isomatic tour, and we watched you disassemble.
Disassemble.
Disassemble?
Yeah.
Disassemble.
I knew what you meant.
Disassemble. Yeah, I know what you meant, babe.
All right, I'll correct you next time.
I just want to.
Golly, man. It's like everybody knew what I was saying, and Brian had to be like, I'm smarter than everybody here. So I'm going to disassemble.
Just take it out of my vocabulary and be like, I took it apart in half. And now there's
so Brittany, you can take it apart.
Right, exactly.
And I saw it firsthand, and it seems very reasonable. You can run right through your dishwasher.
Well, everything is accessible, right? You don't have to actually move the machine to access, because when you think about it, it's full of 400 pounds of ice in the bin with a 200-pound machine on the top. You don't want to have to move that out to access any of these components. So everything's accessible right there, and yes, you can remove them. And the key thing about this is you can remove them with no tools. They're all snap-in, snap-out parts. And then you can put them in your commercial dishwasher, wipe them down. So
what do you say to a guy like Brian, who will probably have his ice machine until he's 70?
Right.
And what do you say to him to say, hey, listen, here's just really what we're working with, and here's how far it's come, and these are the things that Isomatic can do for you to be able to let go of not having to get on Craigslist every 4 weeks to find a part?
Sure. Well, so do you mean like purchasing parts?
Yeah, like, I mean, do you just say, guys like Brian or anybody, a restaurant, do you say, just continue with that until it croaks all together, or no, here's why you need the upgrade?
Well, I mean, if you sustain the machine and you're maintaining it and you're sanitizing it, I mean, I've seen machines in the field that have lasted 15 years. You know, it really depends. I mean, we recommend, or we expect, the average life to be somewhere around 7 years.
I was curious, because mine, I get like 5. And I'll tell you, I work them hard.
Well, and that makes a very big difference. I mean, when you think of a car, right? If you're not getting your oil changed as often as you should, you're not, doing engine checks and things like that, eventually, the corrosion that can happen inside of a machine and all these things will eventually hurt the life of it.
Well, and I have a different temperature. Mine are in 55 degrees. Mine are not in your recommended temperature range to run.
That's cold, right?
They're on the cold side. And I've always wanted, here's my dream. My dream is I want one of your ice machines to work in a 32-degree room. But what I've seen at my farms is that I just need conveyor belts and all this jazz. So I bring the ice out of your machine into my machines. But trust, I am an ice geek, man. I love because my whole world is how do I keep produce fresh
without the ice part.
Well, ambient temperature of air is really important, but people often forget that the ambient temperature of the water is also really important. So if you've got hot water coming in or warmer temperature water, it's going to take longer for that water to freeze.
Yes,
What about noise?
Right.
Renownedly, ice machines are the loudest thing in the room.
Right. They can be.
Has that come a long way?
I think so, yes.
And you have the ability to put them in a different location in the restaurant too, right?
Right. So you're talking about remote condensers, right? So when you see like fast food restaurants and things like that, they've got small kitchens with a lot of equipment, right? So they're creating a lot of heat. So they want to be able to discharge that heat somewhere else, so they put them on the roof. Now you've got to have a good setup, right? So it's important to sort of know that you're going to have that application when you kind of build your restaurant out. But if you're not in a really hot place and your machine has got enough room to breathe, I mean, yes, you'll hear it a little bit, but for the most part, they're not that noisy.
It's just the crash of the ice.
Yeah, that's the loudest part, right?
When the ice comes tumbling down. Ice is one of those things to, again, I think you underappreciate it until you don't have it.
Yeah. Well, like you started the segment. Yeah.
Have you ever been?
You don't just have to stop talking.
Have you ever been that guy? And truly, so here's your home. Here's your refrigerator with your freezer up top, and you've got this ice machine that makes it. Mine has a mind of its own because ice is all over the freezer, not just in the bed.
Oh.
So I pull it out, and it's a huge chunk. And then I go at the bottom, and it's like, oh, there's a little yellow in there. That's not great,
Don't eat the yellow ice.
Yeah, I clean that out. And then all of a sudden, I have no ice at all. And then I'll fill a couple trays.
You're letting your refrigerator make it for you. Oh.
Hey, man,
Really?
listen, I've had ice.
I should not?
I've
No.
had ice in my refrigerator for a decade, but none of it's yellow. You know, there's got to be some other components. Let me tell you this, because you also have to be careful with a large ice machine, because here's a true story. I worked at a sports bar, and coincidentally, as I reached in to grab a thing of ice, it dropped a pallet of ice on my hand.
Oh.
And on it. And now, listen, I mean, it didn't hurt, but it cut perfect brackets of where each ice cube was on the top of my hand. So I had like 6 holes in the top of my hand of where the ice cubes were. So also,
really?
Yeah.
You know,
so a lot
be
of people
careful.
don't know that's how ice is actually made. And to be completely transparent, when I started working at Ice-O-Matic, I didn't really know this either. I guess I thought it was like a popcorn machine of just cubes everywhere. But it actually comes off as a giant slab, right? And then the bridge thickness, which is what holds all of the cubes together, and why adjusting it so important is when it hits Jay's hands, right? It breaks into all these little cubes, and so that's why you have that little lip
What's
right
it called?
there.
The bridge what?
It's called the bridge thickness.
The bridge thickness.
Right.
That's what Freeman.
So often, more often than not, right, when you see bartenders taking the scoop and they're breaking it all apart because it's not adjusted correctly, and so it's freezing too much till it drops off, so it doesn't break when it hits the bin.
You're teaching me something new. I love this, folks.
I thought it was popcorn too.
Yeah, no.
No. I knew it. I knew it falls off and but I didn't realize it was in complete sheets. I thought it broke the moment it fell.
No, it doesn't. Comes off as one sheet.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to break when it hits wherever
Right.
it's
So
going.
in all the bins, there's a deflector, right, that it hits, and so it kind of just and so it hits, and it's ideally supposed to break into all individual cubes and then slides into the bin.
I can't. Yeah, my GM's going to be thrilled when I say, "Hey, listen, the bridge thickness on the ice machine's a little too thick because that's not breaking all the way
And
when
then
it
he's
hits."
going to say, "Fix it."
Yeah, she's going to say, "You were late, and why are you wearing a beanie?"
Well, if
to
it's an
work?"
Ice-O-Matic, I can adjust it for you.
There you
Nice. Ice-O-Matic. I mean, truly, here's the. Let's do this. I was going to break now, but I think we need to extend this 2 minutes long. Ice-O-Matic is one of those Colorado companies that people don't know what a force this is.
Thank you for bringing that up. Since 1970, or wait.
We've been around for a little over 60 years now.
60 years
I should
now.
get
Wow,
the
even
exact
older,
date,
but
we've been in the same building off of Havana and I-70.
And let's face it, you probably had a million opportunities to go build your equipment out of the country and bring it back and outsource, but you've decided to stay right here in Denver, Colorado, which
Absolutely. We employ a little over 200 Denver people. So.
But you ship all over the world.
We do. We ship globally, yeah. Which, as you guys know, is kind of getting a little nerve-wracking, right, in what's going to happen. So, but we have no intention of moving our factory whatsoever. We're very proud to be American-made.
Good for you.
and Colorado-made.
Yeah.
That's right.
Brittany Stanley, cool.
Thank
right?
you, guys.
All right.
Brittany, thank you so much
Saturday
for
night,
right now.
thanks for taking the time out, truly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate
It was
it
my
so much.
pleasure. Thanks.
We'll see you soon.
Okay.
There it
Bye-bye.
is. Ice-O-Matic. All right, we'll come back. We'll talk spirits, distilling, and we always love to meet new friends, and that's exactly what we'll do. Broken Arrow Distillery and Ron Johnson up next right here on the Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio.
Choose your path through Cyberland.
Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Facebook for all the fun photos and videos. Just search The Modern Eater or check out the website, themoderneater.com.
Hi, my name's Christina Stumble, and I own Farm Girl Flowers in San Francisco. With my Spark Cash Card from Capital One, I earn unlimited 2% cash back on all my business purchases. Last year, I redeemed $115,000 in cash back. Yeah, $115,000. And that doubled our digital marketing budget for the summer. Thanks to my Spark Card, we had our best summer yet. Imagine what the Spark Card from Capital One could do for your business. What's in your wallet?
Real Capital One customers pay for real stories. Credit approval required.
Hi there, saver. Looking for a Medicare plan to help you save on more than just prescriptions? Medicare Advantage plans may offer prescription drug, medical, and hospital coverage. Walgreens is a preferred network pharmacy with many Medicare Advantage plans, including United Healthcare. So when you enroll in a plan with Walgreens as your preferred pharmacy, you know you're saving smartly. Walgreens, trusted since 1901. Other plans may be accepted.
Hey guys, Chris Johnson here, owner of Rome Sausage, your hyper-local source for all things sausage awesomeness. My family is proud to carry on the fine traditions of Rome's founder, Jerry Rome, by producing a variety of amazing sausage in small batches with an eye on quality, not quantity. Every batch is made here in the great state of Colorado by hand mixing spices, utilizing lean cuts of pork to make an outstanding product. Sourcing ingredients and materials locally, we are committed to supporting local vendors, chefs, restaurants, and the entire Colorado food scene. Getting hungry yet? Brats, Italian, breakfast, hot Polish, green chili, chicken apple, and the world's best chorizo. You can source all of our sausage through a variety of food service distributors. If your distributor doesn't carry it, call us. We'll come direct. You want a custom item? We'll do that too. Samples, and of course, sausage jokes, can be had by contacting me directly at chris@romesausage.com or by phone at 303-296-7663. The Modern Eater loves Rome sausage, and I know you will too.
Wear black and eat spices. Hey, Modern Eater listeners, this is Zach from The Spice Guy, Colorado's favorite spice company. Spice is the variety of life. At The Spice Guy, we have a passion for sourcing the best ingredients from the best farmers all over the world. Choose from thousands of different GMO-free spices and ingredients, or let us create and blend custom flavor profiles for whatever style of food it is that you're working with. With over 1,000 restaurants, food brands, and chefs behind us, you can't go wrong when you choose The Spice Guy for all your spice needs. The Spice Guy.
Spicy.
Born in Breck, raised in Denver.
TheSpiceGuyCo.com.
1 minute.
Lovers, Greg Hollenbach here for Proud Souls Barbecue and Provisions. Proud Souls is Denver's authority of all things barbecue. Do you rule your neighborhood with the best backyard barbecue? From beginners to pit masters, Proud Souls has all the equipment you could possibly want. A variety of wood, pellet, and charcoal grills and smokers. Award-winning pit masters and owners of Proud Souls, Dan and Tony, have a passion for barbecue, and it shows. Located on 25th and Federal, Proud Souls retail store is bursting at the
30 seconds.
Barbecuing essentials, the Spice Guy spices, and superior flavored fuels for your pit like hickory, mesquite, oak, pecan, cherry, apple, peach, maple, grape, and a variety of blends. Hit their website, ProudSoulsBBQ.com, for delicious hands-on barbecue classes and get information on current promotions and deals. For the best in barbecue, locally owned and operated on 25th and Federal, there are guys. Proud Souls Barbecue and Provisions. That's ProudSoulsBBQ.com.
Hi, this is Lori Minton. I'm a food hack, aka food writer. I was just told that I screwed up my line, and you're listening to the Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio.
Okay, let's go. Back at it. Studio Kitchen, Colorado. The Modern Eater Show continues. I love that ice conversation, Brian.
Wasn't it fun?
It's just, I mean, ice, it's in everybody's life.
It really is, quite honestly, and we don't understand what it means to us.
First of all, shout out to our new intern, and I think this is going to be a great fit, but Kenyon George. Thank you so much.
Kenyon George.
Kenyon George. We just call him George. He's the man with two first names.
I like it, though. Three? He's got another one. Kenyon Michael George. I love it. Kenyon Michael George.
You'll hear more from Mr. Kenyon Michael George in the months to come here, but so glad to have him here. Christopher Moore is going to join us here in these next couple of segments. He's a chef, but he's also got a great restaurant. It's give me the restaurant name again.
Degree Metropolitan Food and Drink.
And so he's obviously a great chef, but he also helps out with the front of the house, which is I asked him the other day. I said, at your bar, how many local products do you have? He wrote that list down.
They have a list.
And we're going to meet a new friend right now. His name's Ron Johnson. And Ron is from Broken Arrow Distillery. Welcome to the Modern Eater Show. Ron, how are you?
Wonderful. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you.
Good to have you. Good to have you.
First of all, give us the rundown. What's up with Broken Arrow?
We are local, Colorado here, 1,000% local. And what that means for us, at least, is that everything that's inside the bottle comes from Colorado.
Gotcha. Who are you using? Whiskey Sisters, stuff like that?
So we use some folks out in Wiggins, Colorado for our corn.
Nice.
And then
who are they? I'd
Root
love to
Shoots.
know who they are.
Root Shoots. I like those boys. Over there.
Malting,
Yep. And then our water comes from El Dorado Springs.
Look at that.
Nice. That's interesting.
So everything's 1,000% Colorado.
The trifecta.
Everything that's in the bottle is definitely made by us. We don't buy any juice or anything like that.
So let's just take a look, because I always like to do this.
Well, tell me, this is the first batch right there. He just brought that for us tonight. I'm excited.
Oh, is this really?
To try that.
That is actually.
And it says XXX.
Well,
and that makes me even feel more sexy. Come on now, Ron. Tell us all
that
about
is
this.
actually our three-way. So that is not even in bottle yet.
Yeah, well,
that's why it's marked
I would
on
think
there.
you've got to be careful with the three-way.
Well, here's what I say about a three-way. As long as you get to pick it. Everybody likes a good three-way. So that is actually Juice. That's our flagship whiskey. And what we've done is after we've aged in New American Oak, we found some barrels that initially contained cinnamon and then vanilla beans.
Wow.
And then maple syrup.
So how long has this been aged? This is a little lighter of a whiskey to me.
It's about
18?
It's about 26 months total.
26
So
months.
12 months in our New American Oak, and then about 14 more months in our three-way barrels.
Ooh, I like that there. So you guys are switching up your barrels.
We've got all different times. We've got a honey barrel-aged whiskey. We took our flagship, aged it for about 12 months. And that's not here with us tonight, but I'm just giving a little bit of a.
Sure.
So we've got our honey barrel. We aged it for about 12 months. Sent the barrels to an apiary. Anybody know what an apiary is?
Oh yes, yes. I'm all about bees.
I did not know.
Oh, really? Okay.
And 99% of the people I say apiary to have no idea. I assume you would know, Chef.
Yeah,
Yes,
I know you should have bees.
You like yourself a little honey now, don't you?
Every now and then, absolutely.
You have some of this, Chef?
And it was B Squared apiary, and they made a bourbon honey, sent the barrels back to us, and then we put our flagship whiskey back inside the barrels for about another 16 months, and we made a honey whiskey.
Is that what we're having?
That is not what you're having. You're having the three-way.
I'm getting notes of
We're having the
yeah,
three-way on
you got the
this.
three-way.
This, I got to tell you, though, this is a different,
it's
the nose on
very
this
unique.
is way different than anything I'll tell you, I've ever experienced. This is way different.
Not a whiskey drinker. Can't do the brown water, but I
give
tell
it
you what, man.
Give it a little shot.
But you know what? The nose on this is amazing.
Did you get the
Absolutely
vanilla
amazing.
in there?
Yeah,
Right, I get the vanilla right off the top.
Yep.
And so people like to say, is it flavored? I say no, it's barrel influence because it's all from the barrel.
Wow.
There's no cinnamon added. There's no maple syrup added or anything like that. It all comes from those barrels that were passed around.
I get the maple syrup, like the second note in there. Is it
cinnamon right on the end?
Is it? Okay. I haven't even drank it yet. Greg's taught me how to drink like scotch, like a sir. And you got to smell it more than you drink it. And I'll tell you, but it really does. It helps you understand it in your palate when you really get it up in your sinuses.
And that first pull is not going to be the true test of how that tastes. Probably second or third, and then if you want to dilute that just a teeny little bit. But I think right here, this blend, and it's not a blend, it's pulling it.
It's pulling it from the barrel. And the chef can probably speak to this because I didn't realize that in the food industry, barrels are passed around and you age things and, you age peppers. And I didn't know you age peppers in barrels. And
Chefs do a lot of crazy things.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you a quick little story about this chef right here. The first time I met him, he had a program where everyone came and put their own stuff, or not their own, but the club that they would buy them a barrel.
So
At Ravenna, you're going to do that again.
So we did barrel-aged Manhattans. So we would sell a barrel to a member. We would purchase the barrel for them. They would bring in
full of juice?
No. They would bring because of liquor laws. They would bring their liquor to us.
Okay.
What they wanted in their barrel. We would create their own Manhattan for them, and then we would fill it their barrel, and they would take their barrel home, and they could logo it however they wanted.
Wow.
Well,
and so the barrel, I'm telling you, you've got some fans here.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, this three-way in a Manhattan and old-fashioned, just crush it. So,
right?
Talk to me, chef.
And I'm actually going to start. We're, that's a part of why I'm here, because we were talking about, Greg and I were on the phone, and he says, well, what do you got in your bar? And I went to my restaurant manager and said, tell me all of the things that we're doing local Colorado, because I've been at Degree for 5 months, and I said, let's make this. We're a part of Spring Hill Suites by Marriott's. So we have national travelers that want a Colorado experience.
Absolutely.
And then we also, I said, well, let's give them things that they can't get anywhere else.
Of course.
So I said, give me a list of the things that we serve, and I got 4 papers here of just our tap stuff alone is amazing.
Beers?
Beers.
Let's take 2 minutes, just rattle those off, and we'll get back to this because I want to make the pitch that Broken Arrow made.
Right, so really quick, So on our tap, we've got Scobring Buster Nut Brown Ale, the Four Noses Pump Action Pumpkin Ale. We have the Prost Kolsch, River North Mountain Haze IPA. Of course, we're right by Tivoli, so we have to have Tivoli Helles Lager. And then we have one of the last barrels of Fate Brewing watermelon.
That's about 7. I heard.
Right.
Was it about 7? How many taps do you have?
7, 6. And then by the canner bottle, we've got Denver Beer Company, Cerveceria Company, Senior Pina and Venga, River North White Ale. We do Elevation Beer Company. I'm trying to read her handwriting here. Little Man Porter, Stem Cider, Wild Basin Boozy Waters, and then on the liquor side, we do Golden Moon Distillery Absinthe.
Shout out to Steve at Golden Moon.
Nice.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Ron.
Yeah,
Lee Spirits Creme de Violette, Breckenridge Bourbon, and then of course Stranahan's. And we're looking.
We can do more.
We can do
more.
We got to get this
because I'm trying to get Jeff from Spice Trade to come in, and because we want to. I had told and introduced my restaurant manager to the chai milk stout, and she's a huge fan. I'm like, we got to get that in and on tap. So.
I love that, and again, as we grow as the Modern Eater Network, and we want to introduce you to some more folks, I think you're going to hear a lot more collaboration going on with us. Let's take a break, and I want to come back. I love business, Ron. I want to talk about the business of just starting a distillery in general, and I know you're not the owner.
Don't do it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
do you want to make $1 million in the industry?
Well,
start with $10 million.
Yeah. But when your whiskey comes to fruition and you're sitting on liquid gold and you've got some barrels behind you, I just want to kind of see what your model is and ask you a few questions of what's happening over there at Broken Arrow, if you don't mind. Okay, we'll take a quick break. Come back. It's Booze and News. All the booze news you can use right here on the Modern Eater Show. Coming up next, right here from Studio Kitchen, Colorado, you are listening to
The Modern Eater
on iHeartRadio.
Choose your path through Cyberland.
Sorry, man.
Check us out on Instagram and Facebook for all the fun photos and videos. Just search The Modern Eater or check out the website, themoderneater.com.
Have you ever thought about saying goodbye to your job? Just walking into your boss and saying, I quit. And how would you like to commute to work without ever leaving your home? Well, not long ago, a 39-year-old entrepreneur from a billionaire family spent $20 million in 3 years to find the best home-based business in North America. He researched 70 different companies, and when he found the only one that had real long-term potential, he bought it. And right now, he's looking for people to help him turn this company into his next billion-dollar success story. So if you're serious about making money from home without having to leave your home, well, grab a pen. Because I'm about to give you the address of a website where you can learn all about this unique and rare opportunity. Write this down, www.goherenext.com. Now get on your computer and go to this site now. Part-time or full-time, your income is based totally on your performance. Interested? GoHereNext.com and say goodbye to your boss tomorrow. GoHereNext.com.
1 minute till live read.
Brian Freeman with Growers Organic in the Modern Eater Talk Show. Do you care about where your food comes from? I do. Do you want loyalty from customers who care about that as well? I can help by providing top quality organic produce with reliable delivery, knowledgeable sales team who genuinely care about how food is grown, transported, and served. Chefs, Growers Organic will ensure you have excellent ingredients for your next James Beard dinner, your nightly specials, or your regular menu items. Join the organic revolution and go organic with Growers Organic. Look us up online at growersorganic.com.
30 seconds to live read.
A cheer from Raquelitas Tortillas. Raquelitas, known for hyper-local, innovative, and healthy tortillas and chips, served by Colorado's top chefs, and that's why we
20 seconds.
Mills sunflower oil. If you too want to serve the healthiest, most vibrant tasting foods,
Yeah, it's 15 seconds.
Gotcha. Colorado Mills is hyper-local, Colorado-grown, cold
10 seconds.
Colorado. Whether you bake, fry, or saute, get your Colorado Mills today. Available through Shamrock, Growers Organic, and Dawn Foods. For the best oil in the business, use Colorado Mills.
Back to the show in just a second, but before we do that, I want to talk to you about bread, and specifically, I want to talk to you about Aspen Baking Company bread. No preservatives, no artificial coloring, no chemicals in any of their stuff. And their stuff, they have a laundry list. Hoagies, focaccias, ciabattas, baguettes, croissants, bear claws, lobster rolls, pound cakes, coffee cakes. If you want a boxed lunch, they just started doing boxed lunches. And they just started doing boxed lunches with Rome's sausage also. So that's what we call a twofer. You get a great sandwich from Aspen Baking Company, and you get an awesome sausage in it with Rome sausage. If you're a bread lover like I am, aspenbaking.com is the website you want to remember. I'm going to say the website one more time, and then we'll be back to the show. So it's no preservatives, no artificial coloring, no artificial anything, no chemicals. It's aspenbaking.com.
Now it's time for the Modern Eaters Booze in the News segment.
I like my beer cold, my meat grilled, and my entertainment explosive.
All we need is a chair and a cooler beer.
Here's your booze news.
All the booze news you can use right here on the Modern Eater Show. A cooler of beer, or how about a cooler of...
nice old whiskey. Or it's a bourbon. I mean, but I'll tell you, this takes me back, and we just let me... Tee it up for me, please. Tee it up for me, man.
Ron Johnson here with us. I can't say your name without your last name, Ron Johnson.
And, I got to tell you, that name, though, did you make that up? Did your mother give you that? Because that's almost like a special kind of actor name. That's like...
I went to the Juilliard School for the Arts.
He's a great guy. And, again, we love meeting new friends, and it's really cool to learn about your product. First of all, Broken Arrow, do you have a tasting room?
We do. And right now, tasting hours are limited, just Wednesdays 4 to 7. But we're expanding the distillery. We're also going to be expanding the tasting room. So you'll see expanded hours. It'll be a real
Wait, Ron, tell me the address again. Where are you?
We're out in
Centennial, but where exactly?
We're near Broncos and Jordan. I could give you the address, but we're right near Broncos and Jordan. But if you go online, you'll be able to just find us very easily.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
So like
but
University in Arapahoe, or is it further out south?
Oh, it is definitely much further out
south.
East.
Out east. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So go down Arapahoe to Jordan.
Oh,
not
yes, on the other side of I-25 there.
Not quite the Parker Road.
Yep, I got you. Okay.
So if you're a distillery in Colorado, we probably have met you. Probably.
Yes.
Maybe. And so it's great to catch up with you. How long have you been in business for?
In our current firm, about 3 years, but they've been doing it for about 5.
Doing it for about 5.
Yes.
So 3 years, and here you are. What spirits are you building there?
So we've got our flagship whiskey, which you've had earlier today. That's the one that propels us forward. That's the one we build everything off of.
Sure. Are you doing vodka? Are you doing rum?
We are not doing vodka and rum. Well, so there's a caveat to that.
Yep.
We'll be bottling our 3-way whiskey. We've actually got a plumwood aged whiskey as well that we'll be bottling on right at the same time we're doing our 3-way. And then we've got our honey barrel aged. So we talked about that apiary a little bit earlier.
So not flavored, but almost infused. It's almost like an infused
I call them barrel influenced.
Barrel influenced. Yep. Thank you. Thank you.
There's nothing there's nothing that we're putting inside of it. It's all from the wood. All from the wood.
Adjuncts, maybe, but just pulling flavors from the wood is really what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And so you're taking a base whiskey that you use throughout all of those processes.
It'd be a little bit different from time, but yeah. Really, our flagship is what we're basing everything off of. And in answer to your earlier question, we're actually expanding the distillery. And so in the expansion of the distillery, we'll be doing some white goods. So we're going to bring in some agave from Mexico. We've been doing a mezcal-type spirit. Obviously, we can't call it mezcal. But we'll also be doing rum and gin and perhaps a vodka. So right now, we're brown goods only. But within the next 6 months, we'll start barreling and aging, in the case of rum, some spirits as we expand, and then we'll be doing some gins and so on and so forth.
Chris?
So just really quick, just before the break, we're talking about what does it take to become a distiller, to get into distillery. And I've actually something I've looked into, being a chef for 26 years. I'm like, what's my next gig? And am I going to make salsa and jam, or do I want to make something that I'd be fun making?
You tell me.
Right?
Come on, chef.
So, but meeting people like Amber Strohauer Farms, I'm like,
you're going to make vodka?
What do you do with potatoes? Coals? What do you do with coals? Potatoes, right? What kind of flavor profile can you get from a purple potato? So these are things that go in my head at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Right?
How do I take food and make it booze?
Right.
How do I ferment something?
So as he said, if you want to make $1 million being a distiller, start with $10 million, because most distillers are probably, in what I read, are successful only after 10 years. Tito's vodka was a 20-plus year success story. So it gives you an idea of what it actually takes. For the person to go like, well, this guy's making booze. I can make booze too. It's not that simple.
But I would love to see someone like you and a progressive place like this do some kind of collaboration.
What's the end game with Broken Arrow?
The end game is riding off in the sunset. We've got absolutely no intention on selling at all. And we've taken the opposite approach from what you see from a lot of distillers. A lot of distillers will make white goods first.
Right.
Because it's easy. Yeah. You make it, you throw it in the bottle. Yeah. You try and get it on the shelves and get in the restaurant.
Well, you're generating revenue to while your other product's sitting. This is your product that's aging. That's going to be your high end thing.
It, man.
It's the same as a cattle rancher, right?
Raising
cattle.
Yeah.
I have money invested in this, and I have to have an end result over a certain amount of time. Aged products, same thing. So they go to the white liquors that they can produce quickly and put out and get on the market to generate revenue.
It's a commodity. Once this is made and it's bottled up and you have whiskey, it's going to sell.
Right.
It truly is.
But if the point is getting there. I was with the Colorado Distillers Guild this morning. We were up in Breckenridge and just kind of talking about it. And one of the things we were talking about was tax.
Uh-huh.
So we put
Was Sean Smiley up there?
He was not.
He wasn't? I was like, come on, Sean.
Beautiful Sean Smiley.
Yes.
And you put it in the barrel, it's 53 gallons. By the time you get it out, at least
47.
At least it's about 40. It's about 40 gallons.
Yeah.
And so you've lost. Not only have you waited that amount of time, you got to store it somewhere, but now you've lost all of that potential revenue.
Yep.
And so it's a long game. Don't think that you're just going
to
walk on in and
Is that what you guys are in for? The long game?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, please tell me that. That's what I
there's
love.
absolutely no intent to sell this thing.
Yeah,
and
which is
wouldn't
interesting
be
because a lot of people, and he's unapologetic about it, but Michael Myers from 291 Distillery, he's forced staving into small barrels, and he's trying to make this as bold as you possibly can in a short amount of time. And they're winning awards left and right all over the nation. I mean, truly, these guys are doing it. But you have people like Sean Smiley who'll be like, I'm a purist. I want you to suffer. I don't want to, and then the Block Distilling Company is doing the same thing. They're trying to sell their gin and vodka while they're holding on in order to sell the whiskey. And they got Bear Creek. I mean, these guys are all doing different models, and it's disrupted right now. But you guys are doing something with these different kind of, and you called them pulled flavors.
I call it barrel influence.
Barrel influence.
It's really great, and I think that there's this category needs people like you that are thinking outside the box.
Well, like I said, I mean, if you look at someone like, a distiller like 291, they are big. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you take anything from the 291 distillery, it's big. It's got meat. It's got shoulders. Oh, yeah, absolutely. We're on the opposite side of that. We're softer, kinder, gentler.
Yeah. I can tell.
Well, and I'm not saying one is not better than the other. What are you in? What do you want that night?
Well, it's called,
I
would say, approachable, Ron.
Yeah.
That's where my head goes is with this, is because I think you have something that's more, listen, I have been in Colorado for a long time. This guy's a native. The reality is someone like Stranahan's, which you'd want to get behind, one of our first whiskey guys. But I'll tell you, that stuff is so hot. And that's what I call it. It's too hot to... I don't want to have a...
Well, now you got that little tequila belly. That you're
I do, sweetheart. You know me. You know
that
me.
little tequila belly. 1 minute, Ron. Okay, This is the elevator speech. Why are you going to come and either buy... I'm assuming maybe Argonaut you're available at. Where are you available at?
Yeah, absolutely.
Argonaut? Yeah. Okay, so given the elevator speech of, why give us a shot? There's so many varieties out there.
Branch and Barrel is 1,000% Colorado. Everything that we get comes from Colorado when you buy any juice. When we're done with the mash bill, it goes back out to local ranches, and we feed cattle and hogs off of those local ranches. We're an approachable whiskey. We're doing things that other folks in the whiskey industry are not doing. And that's our shtick, but it's a real freaking shtick. Really and when you buy a bottle of Branch and Barrel, you'll take it home, you'll enjoy, you'll come back the next time to get a bottle of Branch and Barrel. And finally, we're not trying to be stratospheric in our pricing. You'll find us on the shelf from anywhere from $39.99 to $49.99, depending on your store.
I don't want to cuff you off, but I have to thank you and Ron Johnson.
Absolutely.
Broken Arrow Distillery. Go give it a shot. You can see it by name. Branch and Barrel. Brian, thank you so much.
Babe.
Jay Parker and George and Don back at the board. Chris Moore, everybody involved. We'll see you next week on the Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio.
At CDW, we get modern service.
prediction. Okay.